The dragon is a creature that's been with us through all of human history. And as we look back in the historical and cultural context of so many ancient civilizations and see these dragons everywhere in their pictures, their paintings, their sculptures, we have to ask ourselves and wonder, where did this concept of the dragon come from? Did everybody all around the world just make this up, or is there something deeper? Was there, in fact, real dragons on Earth at some point in history? And what were they here to do? Going back to ancient China, we see beautiful dragons all over the paintings. In some of the archaeological sites, even dating back to 4500 BC, we find jade sculptures of dragons there as well. And, in Europe, where I've been for the past year, I can't go 2 blocks without seeing another dragon. I go into churches, I see paintings of dragons, knights with dragons. 2 blocks away from me in Oxford, there's a water fountain with a picture of a knight fighting with a dragon. The interesting thing, though, about these dragons that we find in the cultural narratives is that there seems to be two types which are really quite different. We find this dragon that people are fighting with, and maybe they're scared of the dragon. Maybe it's a dragon of the fire-breathing persuasion. But we also see, dragons teaching sages and teaching wizards in Europe, right? So there's that theme of the dragon flying in, meeting the wizard. They're going to have a little powwow, and the wizard's going to learn some new tricks from the dragon. So, I did read storybooks and all of that, but I didn't think that at some point I would be making a video about dragons. So where did this all start with for me? I've had a very long spiritual journey. I've been meditating for 20 years. At some point, I began to look much deeper and look into my past, look into my past lives. I wanted to have a sense of who I was and where I was going. First couple of times I encountered dragons was firstly on a YouTube video by Debbie Solaris, and I was captivated with her galactic readings, going back into starseeds history, and not just from the Akashic readings on Earth, but going back into their past lives in different planets. And I remember watching one episode from her on YouTube that was about a starseed that had a previous life, actually as a reptilian on Draco. And in that reading, the reptilian had at some point not been so great, so kind of like an evil reptilian, but then changed over time to being a good reptilian. And in that video, for the first time, I heard about dragons in a realistic context, where she described 2 classes of dragons on Draco in Orion. One of these was kind of the elder class, a wise, benevolent type of dragon of the yellow striped order, and the other one could kind of go either way and could sometimes do some mean things, and sometimes was a very nice type of dragon. Now, my journey with dragons got interesting at a certain point. I was having a channeling session on myself. So this was an individual session that I was having with a channeler, Marisol Jimenez, who makes amazing channeled music as well. And in that session, she first started kind of describing myself as this um, large, friendly, almost motherly dragon, which was um, very interesting to me. It was something I hadn't heard of before. I hadn't imagined myself as a dragon or that type of being. And then more recently, I've become involved with this, with this meditation and this healing that I've been having the blessed opportunity to do with other people. And it was as if this other part of me just kind of came out and started doing this healing work and started guiding the meditation and helping the other person on the end of the line. And then we were also able to repeat this in a group setting where people were having a group, experience of feeling that loving support come through. So we had to do further investigation to find out what the source of this was, what the source of this experience and this healing was. And Octavia Vasile, who is a channeler for the Ninth Dimensional Pleiadian Collective, went into this and had actually a large number of interactions with this higher self, of which I'm just a small part, and began to interact with something that at first didn't really reveal a form to her, but eventually showed itself as a large, rather fat or chubby orange dragon from the Andromeda galaxy. And she first was able to pick up from the Pleiadians that I was of Andromedan origin, but it was only later that we figured out that it was a dragon, which was very surprising, because I always imagined, if I had a higher self, it would be of a more humanoid form. And I was very surprised to learn that it was this dragon type, of all kinds of dragons, and an orange dragon. Who would have thought of that? And this dragon apparently has been with us, helping humanity for a very long time, since Lemuria, and has maintained a human presence on Earth, and has been utilizing an Andromedan healing frequency, which it generates. And this is strongly connected with Reiki energies as well, that people may be more familiar with. But it's a natively generated healing frequency, and it loves to come in and help other people. And when I'm with people on the line, it'll just kind of take them in. It'll utilize my body and my energy channels to send out and ground the healing frequency. And it really feels like it's time that this dragon, whose name is Yona, it sounds the same as my name does in Hebrew, my Jewish name. So it told Octavia that my parents got the name right, at least. But this dragon, Yona, wants to come out and help more folks. Talk with people, send the healing frequency, send lots of love, and help people progress on their healing journey, on their spiritual journey, helping them feel centered, feel secure, feel grounded, and be in a state of ease and grace, so they can live life as they're comfortable, as they wish to, and begin to open up and learn more and explore more. And this dragon really wants to be a guide for more people. So I'm delighted to introduce you to Yona. Yona is available for you anytime if you do have the ability to connect telepathically or in visions, Yona will be there with you, and you can connect. I'm also making myself available, and thereby Yona kind of coming through me as a channel, if you wish. I'm making myself available for individual sessions as well as group Zoom sessions frequently. So as many people as want to can come in these group sessions and interact with Yona that way, perhaps feel the energy in a more direct way if that's easier for you to connect with these type of frequencies. So you can find more information at jonahbernstein.com. You can reach out to me anytime, and I'm really here to make Yona the Dragon available to all of you who are interested and can use some support from maybe a less likely place you might not have thought about before. You might not have thought that you'd be talking with an orange dragon, but it's 2025 and these are interesting times. So connect with Yona, enjoy the support, take care.